Well, hello and welcome. In this lesson, we're going to show you how you can get started using Power BI. If you'd like a copy of this data, you can email me at the address below. Now, this will be part of a three-part series. The second part will be on Wednesday at the same time, and the third part will be on Friday at the same time. So the first thing I want to do is I want to take this data and I want to import it into Power BI. So let's go to Power BI. Now the way to import is you can click on this transform data icon and then select transform data. And this will take you into the Power Query editor. So I'm going to click on new source, Excel workbook. And I selected the employee workbook. Now that workbook was inside of a table, so there it is, table 1. Or I can select sheet 1. It really doesn't matter. So now the information is imported into Power BI. So when we're in Power Query, the main objective is to clean up the data that we have that's being imported. The very first thing I see here is the state column has some missing information in it. You can see we have the city of Baltimore is in Maryland. Hagerstown is in Maryland. Columbia, Germantown, and Frederick are all in Maryland. Then below that, we have Jacksonville, North Carolina. Charlotte is in North Carolina, New Bern, and Wilmington. So what we need to do is fill down the state abbreviations. So to fill down, we simply select the state column, actually right-click it, and go to where it says fill and choose down. And that will populate the missing values. The next thing I want to do is I want to calculate the number of years the employees have been at this company. So looking at this hire date, I can select it. I can go to transform and go to where it says age under the date drop down. This will give me the number of days from today's date. Let me format this. we want to transform it into total years. Let's round to 0 decimal places and change the column name to years at company. All right. So we need to scan our data. We've got everything populated. I do not need this employee number column. So what I can do is go back to the Home tab and go to where it says Choose Columns, select Choose Columns, and I can select everything except for the column that I don't need. I press OK, and it removed that employee number column. Now what I want to do is I want to create a location column. This location column is going to combine the city and the state. So I can go to the Add Column tab. I can select the city and the state and choose Column from Examples, from Selection, and this section appears. So we said this is going to be called Location. And the way this works is all I have to do is put in the values that I want to be displayed. So I want it to say Baltimore, MD. I go to the next row. It's smart enough to autofill the rest. So it combined the city and the state. So I just press OK. And now I have the location column. I'm going to rename the query. Let's call it employee. Now what I want to do is I want to create some lookup queries. So looking at this data, a good lookup column would be the location column. So what we can do is you can right click the query and choose reference and rename this query cart location. And we can go back to the Home tab and go to Choose Columns and just select the location column. Now, what I like to do is I like to right click and go to remove duplicates. There shouldn't be any, but just to be on the safe side. So now we have unique values in our location query. Let's do the same thing for a position. So I'm going to right-click the query for employee, choose reference, call this position. Go to choose columns, deselect everything, and select the position column. I'm going to right-click the header, choose remove duplicates. So now we have unique items in our list. So now that we have, this is basically our transaction table, the employee table, and then we have our two lookup queries. Now you'll see why this is important when we go to the model view. So now we're ready to go to the model view. I'm going to go to close and apply. It's going to send our data into our report. So now we need to go to the model view, which is right here. I click it. It takes us into the model view. So this is our transaction table. I'm going to remove the relationships and explain how this works. All right, so these are our two lookup tables, the position table and the location table. Now remember, we have unique entries in the lookup tables. So we need to establish a relationship. So it's going to be a one-to-many relationship between the lookup table and the transaction table. You can see here we have that one, and we have the asterisk for many. Do the same thing here, location to location. And that's all we need to do here. So that's what I wanted to show you today. Tomorrow, we're going to learn how to create some DAX functions. It's going to be very simple, but I need to show you this process first because a lot of people will skip these steps, believe it or not, and go straight into writing DAX and creating reports, and they're wondering why the reports are slow and so forth. So I wanted to give you the basic steps of how to create a Power BI report. So tune in on Wednesday at the same time. Thanks for watching.